Good to go. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Gratitude Tuesdays. My name is Raina. I'm one of the recovery coaches here at Capital Recovery Center.
And I'm Carl. I'm also a recovery coach here.
So May is Mental Health Awareness Month. So today we're going to talk about the positive impact of gratitude on mental health. This article comes from Psychology Today. And it starts off, it says, the person who wrote this, it says, as a crisis counselor volunteer, it's clear that mental health is suffering in this country. Without exploring all the different factors that go into the worsening mental health condition, there's one thing we can do. We can use gratitude to pull ourselves up. Significantly, gratitude has an effect on the brain that is linked to life satisfaction and improved well-being. And we've heard that consistently in our meetings with the gratitude. Since 2019, Chinese researchers found an initial neural basis linking gratitude to life satisfaction in a study published in the journal Emotion. In this study, the structural makeup of a region in the brain called the medial prefrontal cortex, which plays a role as the social hub of the brain, was influenced by how grateful and studied participants were, eventually determining their levels of life satisfaction. Interestingly, the MPFC is also involved in human feelings of empathy and social decision making. While prior studies show a correlation between gratitude and life satisfaction, the 2019 study is beginning to establish the neuroscientific connection between the two. As neuroscience catches up to explain the benefits of gratitude, encouraged via positive psychology, there are several reasons why gratitude has a positive impact on mental health. That was a lot of information.
Yes.
So basically, it's just giving you the scientific reasoning behind how gratitude helps improve the mental health.
Yes, I was as a crisis counselor. So it's like coming from his perspective.
Yeah, and then the study from 2019. So, you want to read the first one?
Yeah. Number one, gratitude helps us feel valued. Just like having a job makes us feel useful and valued, gratitude plays a role in making us or others feel valued in our lives. The recognition, which may seem rather ordinary, actually can boost self-esteem and self-value in ways that are not yet understood scientifically, similar to how learning and achievement making us feel good about ourselves. Gratitude makes us each also feel valued and in turn improves self-esteem and self-value. The results are likely to include decreases in anxiety, depression, trauma, and stress, and increases self-worth, motivation, productivity, achievement, and more. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think that's very important too, to feel like you have some sort of worth. Because I know, like, as you know, addicts, you don't feel like when you're in active use, you feel like worthless or less than. And the self-esteem is just very low. The self-value is very low. So, you know, having the gratitude and how it positively impacts all those things can make a big difference in your recovery. You know, you're basically, you know, kind of finding ways to flip that switch from negative to positive.
Yeah, well, it's hard on a mental health aspect because you're stuck in it, and that sometimes you don't even know that you're depressed or anxiety, stuff like that. So it's you gotta find ways to build that happiness, and sometimes it takes medication, because mental health needs to be treated just like the addiction part.
Absolutely.
They always say you can't treat the one and not the other, and when you're treating your mental health, you're definitely treating your addiction as well.
Oh yeah, and it, like, being able to have like self-esteem and self-value is going to give you a stronger recovery.
Yeah.
The better you feel about yourself, the more positive you're going to be, and the stronger your recovery is going to be.
Well, yeah, it's very kind of simple. Sometimes you feel negative, you think negative, you're usually going to get negative results.
Exactly.
When you spread some positive, and try to look on the bright side of things, that life can get good.
Yeah. So the next one is gratitude minimizes negative habits, patterns of thinking, and feelings. When focusing on the positive, we focus less on negativity. The results are improved joy, satisfaction, appreciation, kindness, generosity, empathy, and more positive expressions and behaviors. Gratitude, especially when expressed as a habit, helps minimize negative habits, patterns of thinking, and feelings, which are the causes of depression, panic, and fear.
Mm.
All those things that kept us using, like the fear, the anxiety, just like the lack of any self-esteem,
Yeah.
So
These are some of the things, expressing the behaviors, gratitude, especially when where is it said, thinking feelings, which often causes depression, panic, and fear. And it says, joy, satisfaction, appreciation, kindness, generosity, empathy, and more positive. When you do those, some of them things, it shows gratitude for life.
Yeah, like you just said, you think negative, you're gonna get negative.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And like all those things, like especially with depression, I know it's like it can be very difficult to pull yourself out of that.
Yeah.
But just little things to try and find some gratitude and find some positivity. While it may, because a lot of times depression can be a clinical symptom, so it's not necessarily anything that happened to you, or you know what I mean. It's more of like just mental health.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's okay. No, I was just gonna say, so like if there's like any little thing to try and ease that is gonna be worth it.
I was just thinking, like, how do you express some gratitude, or like you said, bring yourself out. You're depressed and you're feeling down. Like, how do you pull yourself out of that? You know what I mean? When you have, it's not just like being sad. Sometimes I can try to find the exact nature of what I'm really going through. If I'm sad, or am I depressed, or am I having depression? Am I suffering from the mental illness? Like, how do I express myself in gratitude when I'm feeling like that?
Right.
And it's sometimes you have to do things the opposite the way we feel, and the way we think.
Absolutely. Like I suffer from depression, and sometimes it just seems like there is no way to get out of it. This is it, and like you want to succumb to it. And active addiction, that's what I did. I let it take over. Today, you know what I mean? I do things like I work with a therapist, and there's like, coping skills and these things. So while, my depression is a clinical diagnosis, there are things I can do to help, relieve that. So like when it comes, it's not such a drain on my life.
Not just always running back to the negative, and
right?
Using what's causing it worse.
Yeah,
good.
Absolutely.
We stuffed it under the rug, and we want to leave it there. But everything does come to light, and usually a lot of negative and bad things do happen.
Yeah. So it goes on to say that gratitude has the ability to override by accumulating positive thoughts, which, similar to how light can pour through a window, can wash away concerns, worries, and self-doubt. These latter emotions often are the root causes of stress, much of which can be substantially extinguished with regular and abundant amounts of gratitude. So I like that, how light comes through the window. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They talk about how it only takes like one little crack to let the light in.
Right.
So if you can find that one little, piece of gratitude to let some of that light in, it'll have a good impact.
And the smallest things can be that. We think the big things and the great things in life that is going to make us happy and shine that little bit of light of gratefulness. But it's like sometimes it's the little things that count, and then you can spark that gratitude up.
I know, like for me, like when I have those days where I just like cannot get out of bed, just being able to like turn the TV on and put on a sitcom or a movie, or like anything that kind of like a comedy, or what I mean, just like something, even if I'm only half paying attention to it, there's like a more positive vibe going on in the room. Even
Mhm.
if like I don't feel it, it's like just something there.
You don't want to stay stuck. When you
Right.
stay stuck, then you're not usually not going to get out of it.
Right. And it can be as something as little as, a TV show you enjoy.
Just waking up, I always say, just being alive. Like I had the opportunity to wake up,
Hmm.
open my eyes, and have some type of freedom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's really big.
Okay, we'll do the next
Yep.
one.
Number 3, gratitude helps us rekindle our inner childhood wonder and all right? Yeah.
Mhm.
Routine feelings of gratitude expressed for things like nature, love, and connection, for example, can help us rekindle our inner childhood sense of wonder and awe. Louis Schwarzenberg, an American time lapse cinematographer,
Cinematographer.
cinematographer, producer, and director, discussed in his TED Talk of 2011 how gratitude can bring us to appreciate each new day for being so unique. Into perspective, this is as if each new day is like experiencing and giving a new flower, a new wonder, in turn rekindling our inner childhood sense.
Like you said, just waking up to a new day.
Just waking up, yeah. While seemingly simple, if we did each new day in this way, our ability to move ourselves might come easier with less stress and much stronger mental health. Such as perspective doesn't come easily for each of us, but is applied and maintained, it can truly help us live a fulfilling and meaningful life.
Yeah. And I like that how like talking about rekindle our inner child wonder. Like,
Mm.
I like nature. Like
Me
I went
too.
when I went to see my daughter, a couple of weeks ago, like everything we did was outside. It wasn't like about going to like movies or this or that. Like, you know what I mean? We went like on walks through these like trails that she found and different beaches and like like a sinkhole and this little oasis thing. Like everything was outside. And a lot of it were things like and in New Jersey, you're not gonna see like giant driftwood on a white sand beach.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was like, oh, like that's how I felt. It's like, oh my wow, like that wonder and awe. You know what I mean? And that's like such a good feeling.
Well, like you said, lost dreams awakened.
Mhm.
Things that we dreamed about or we thought we wanted to do as a kid to actually doing them.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Stay in the positive. Do positive things that can get you out of my own way. You know what I mean? Because and it talks about like another perspective. Like asking for help or asking somebody for a better perspective on certain things to be grateful for.
Mhm. And I think sometimes we have these things in us, you know what I mean? Like that we get excited about, but when we're using, like those things just kind of get glossed over
Mhm.
or washed away, or you know what I mean? Like you don't appreciate the sunset when you're using, but
Right.
you know what I mean? Now it's like,
You dreaded it. You dreaded
yeah,
it.
yeah. You can appreciate those things again. Say, I already clicked on this one. Gratitude helps us feel inspired, which can help with motivation. Feeling inspired often can motivate us to learn, grow, change, improve, or adapt to difficult challenges and circumstances. Gratitude has the ability to help us feel inspired, in turn, promoting such positive behaviors and adaptations. While the neuroscientific evidence is not as abundantly clear, it is true that gratitude's ability to inspire and motivate, leading to positive behaviors and adaptations, are key parts to leading a successful life rich with well-being.
Mm.
I like this because I am I'm a licensed hairdresser. Like that's my trade. I was doing it for years. I still do it. But when my addiction got to the point where it had completely taken over my life, I no longer cared about learning a new haircut or a new technique for coloring. And that was something that I was very passionate about for a long time. And I lost all that with using. It was just like, okay, I got to go so I can get some money so I can go cop.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And now that, you know what I mean, I'm living in recovery, like I find myself, okay, now I'm like, oh, I want to learn how to do that. Or, you know what I mean? Oh, that looks really cool. You know what I mean? Like that motivation has been restored. It's just something that I used to love and had lost.
I like how it says, leading a successful life, rich well-being, a rich well-being.
Mm-hmm.
We think, or I thought being rich is having a lot of
Money, yep.
having this, having that, having the girls, having all these
Mhm.
material things that still wasn't even making me happy.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like for me, for being rich today, my well-being is like having my family, having my friends, doing things, having the freedom I do have, the clean time I have today. Like there's a lot of things, the smaller things in life that make me a rich man today.
Absolutely. All right, the last one.
So goes to 5. Gratitude prevents worry and frustration. By allowing us to focus on what's good in the present, gratitude helps to prevent worry and doubt the future. Frustration can dissipate as well. With the help of gratitude, we get less caught up with what a person says or does as much, but what to focus on. The next good thing to help us move forward is kind of like always wanting to catch the next great wave, like a surfer. Much stress and frustration cause routine feelings of anxiety, sadness, and depression, and it truly applied and worked on gratitude can be mitigate such feelings.
Hold on before you go on.
Yeah.
Always wanting to catch that next great wave. That is addiction, right there.
Yeah.
It was all about wanting to get to the next one. And we learn, like he was talking about, like the behaviors and the patterns, like not constantly chasing after something because you have things already to appreciate.
Never content.
Yeah.
Never being content at all.
Right.
And that's pretty, think about it, that's insanity.
Uh-huh.
Right now, you can have all these things in the world and still chasing
Something else.
more.
And that's the kind of mindset where you will never be happy.
Yeah.
Because you'll never be happy with what you want if you're always looking for something else. And that can go with anything. Like money, relationships,
Everything.
Anything at all. If you're constantly chasing it and not appreciating what you already have. And and it causes, like it says, it causes feelings of anxiety, sadness, and depression. Like if you're already stressing out about the next day, you can't appreciate where you are at that moment.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how addiction works. Like you're using that day and already worried about how you're using the next one, and the day's not even there yet.
It was a vicious cycle.
Oh yeah.
And that's one thing I wanted in life was being content in life. You know what I mean? Just being okay.
Mm-hmm.
With self and I struggle today with the world around me. You know what I mean? But
it takes work.
it sure does. And it takes some acceptance, surrender. There's principles that we live by, and it takes practice, it takes work, it takes commitment, but like it's worth it in the end. And
it says it allows us to focus on what's good in the present, like being in the moment. For years I would take all these pictures at stuff and post the kids and do this and do that, and I wasn't even enjoying what we were doing because I was so busy trying to take pictures and document it or put it on Facebook, or you know what I mean? I see people do it all the time, and it's did you actually get to experience this? You know what I mean?
They actually enjoy it.
Yeah, I find that I take a lot less pictures now because I'm more involved in the moment. So.
Yeah, I get it. And it goes on to say the abundance of good from gratitude fuels an abundance of good in return.
Get back what you get out.
Yep. Of course, finding our passions, practicing self-care, experiencing, genuinely expressing ourselves when possibly, building strong relationships, eating well, and more are part of a fulfilling life recipe. However, gratitude is often where successful life starts. The positive impact of gratitude on our mental health is undeniable. Hopefully you got a gratitude routine down pat.
Yep. And if you don't, you can come in and see us and join us for our gratitude days. Because we can help you. We can help you start to establish that pattern of positive thinking. You know, we have gratitude journals and other activities we can do, or even if you just need to come in and talk, you know what I mean? Like, I deal with this all the time. You know, what are some little things that I can do to help it, like, ease that? You know what I mean? So you're always welcome to come in, be part of the group, just come and talk to us. We are always here and make ourselves available to help.
And as we help you, you guys help us.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's just not just a one-way kind of deal, you
Mhm.
know, because we all need each other. It doesn't matter if we have mental health, we have suffer from addiction. Doesn't matter where we come from, what color we are, you know, whatever the case may be, we all need each other in the world. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So,
Please come in and see us.
see ya.
All right, have a good day.